all of you and you're able to see the slides that I'm presenting. Let me just put it on the slideshow first. Okay, so in this video, again, like other videos that I've been posting, this is going to be super short, not more than 6 to 7 minutes, something like that. So here we are going to discuss about the paper pattern for the upcoming parent agent examination, which is scheduled for January 2025. Now, why is it important for you to know about the changes in the paper pattern? Certainly because if you know what is going to come in terms of the pattern, in terms of the process, how the different questions will be designated, which all areas maximum you could envisage the questions to be coming, it then enhances your probability to crack the exam. So as you all know, India International IP Forum is the place or the platform through which I teach. And this is all because of my passion for teaching. It's also because I published a book on parent agent examination many years ago, 2008. And my idea is to share my experience, having more than 23 years of experience in the field of IP. It's always good to exchange ideas. So I don't do it for business per se. It's primarily for my passion, as I said. And because in this process, I also learn a lot. So anyway, let's go through this presentation. There's a little cluttered slide, but I'll try to make it very easy for all of you. To the left of my left, earlier paper pattern has been listed out. And then to my right, it's the new paper pattern that has been listed out. And this is basis what appeared in 7th January 2024 exam, right? So there are 2 papers and 1 viva, as you all know. In paper 1, it's for 100 marks, 2.5 hours. There is a duration. So it has, paper 1 has 3 sections, part A, part B, and part C. While part A has 30 questions, which are 2 marks each, that makes 60 marks, and there are no negative markings. These are all situation-based questions, and this pattern is same as what has been coming so far. Paper B has the true or false or assertion or reasoning question answers. There's around 10 questions, 1 mark each, which gives you 10 marks, a total of 70 marks. Change has happened in part C, which is little longer situation-based questions. These are 10 questions of 10 marks each, which makes 30 marks. In the old system, you had to choose more than 1 option. So multiple choices one had to choose. If you select more than all the correct choices, you would have gotten absolutely the fine correct marks. But if you chose even little less, 1 less than the correct number of choices, the marks given were 0. Now there is a change in this pattern. Instead of selecting multiple options, there is only 1 single correct option that is correct, which you have to very judiciously choose. If you choose the correct one, you straight away get 3 marks, otherwise 0. So this is the bigger change, if I may say, a bigger change, so to speak. But this is the change, I would say, rather, between earlier pattern and the new pattern. Now let's look at the paper 2, which is again 100 marks, and this is for 3 hours. This is the paper where people are unable to mostly complete the exam because they don't practice at home. But let's just discuss the pattern here. So paper 2 is divided into 3 sections, part A, part B, and part C. Part A and B are more theory-based, situation-based questions. And in part A, there are only 4 questions and you have to write, right? It's a written examination. It's not MCQ. Each question is of 5 marks, so that makes 20 marks for part A. And part B is 3 questions, and each question is 10 marks. That makes 30 marks. So for a 5-mark question, you can write for up to 1 or 1.5 page. For a 3-mark question, you can write up to, because it is for 10 marks, you can write up to 2 pages or 2.5 pages. This is similar to what has been happening even earlier in earlier paper patterns. The change has happened in the drafting section, which is part C. Now, part C has, earlier it used to have only 2 parts, part C1 and C2. This time it is C1, C2, and C3. Now, C1 now is going to be of 10 marks. At least this is what we saw in the last year question paper. From this year, the pattern may again change because Design Act has been included. And I've discussed about the new syllabus in another video, and I'll post it in the description, the link which you can go and see through later. So C1 was of 10 marks, which included drafting just the title, claims, and the abstract. And there was a choice. Out of the two, you had to attempt only one. Part C is again for 10 marks. This was a change that happened. Instead of earlier 30 marks, and you had to now draft an office reply. This is for the first time that the drafting came up on how you draft an office reply, as in somebody senior in your office is asking whether it's novel or not, and you're trying to convince him, or whether it's inventive or not. How will you convey? So they give you 3 options, and you have to choose one out of the 3. Part C3 is now equal to earlier C2, part C2 of the previous year question papers. Here it's of 30 marks, and you have to draft a complete patent specification, which includes title, claim, detailed description, examples, and claims, right? So everything, including abstract at the end. So this is how it makes 50 marks for part C3, or part C rather. So total of 100 marks for paper 2. So this is the change in the paper pattern which you should be aware of, and you should create a strategy as to how many marks do you want to at least minimum gain in each of these parts to make maximum amount of marks that you should be able to receive in both paper 1 and paper 2. There are new types of questions now being asked, like I said in the previous video on syllabus that I've covered. Case laws are being asked, which was never the case earlier. So there was question number 16 in the last year question paper of 2024, where they listed down certain case laws and they asked what was the final outcome, and you had to match it. Similarly, it has now become very important that you just not simply read the sections, but you understand them so well, and you are able to then respond to the questions extremely well. So there was almost like a jigsaw puzzle type of questions. So if you look at question number 17 of last year 2024 question paper, question 11 or question 28, these are like puzzle questions from the existing sections. And then they said, okay, then what do you draw out of it? So this is how we found that it was more intellectual questions, and there was a strategy used to ensure that the student who is answering has understood the section very well. So it really, these type of questions really check your level of understanding for every provision of the patent law. For PCT related questions, and we expect more, international treaty based questions to now come up again. Last year it was around 7 marks. So question 1, 8, 10, and 39 were dedicated to PCT. And there were also WIPO related questions, which is World Intellectual Property Organization. What does it do? So question number 5 and 48 were dedicated. This is again last year question paper. And you had to also keep a tab on what is happening in IP Manthan, which is a very important initiative by the Patent Office, where they invite experts from so many different domains and they discuss on contemporary IP topics. If you have not gone through it, if you have not been attending those IP Manthan conferences, then for those students it was difficult to respond to question number 48. Also drafting of office communications, like I said, which never happened before. Now they give you the hypothetical invention, and they ask you to draft a communication for your senior to impress upon him that your invention is novel and has inventivity. In summary, besides the syllabus, besides the 2 acts, which is the Patent Act and the Design Act, you must also learn very extensively through the international treaties, learn drafting, how you make office replies. And I anticipate that this time the office replies would also cover your reply to the Indian Patent Office and not just to your seniors in your office. So you must go through various file wrappers of various patent applications filed at the Patent Office website, and that will help you a lot. And There are two very important videos that you must also watch. I'll again put these link in the description of this video, which is paper writing strategy, because writing is most important thing. You may know everything in the world, but if you're not able to express it well and in concrete terms, fetching marks becomes very difficult. And also one video on how to crack patent agent examination, I suggest that you watch these two videos as well. You can join the live classes, like I keep saying. The classes are starting from 10th August soon. A few days are left, and I'm not going to take more than 40 students. Otherwise, it's very difficult to take care of every student individually. So you can look at the ratings from www.trippleipf.com for how different students have liked the classes. And there is a WhatsApp number, and you can reach out on this number to get any more details. And then a dashboard which is provided, which covers all the recorded video lectures. Besides, of course, whatever I teach in live classes also gets recorded. The ready reckoners for quick usage. It helps you also learn through the mnemonics of different sections of the Act. It covers all the book chapters that I've published, which is a master guide on patent agent exam. So if you're joining the classes, you don't necessarily have to buy the book unless you want to buy a hard copy and do your markings by your own hand and keep notes. Then, of course, you can go ahead for it. But if you want any technical assistance in registering through it, there is a number given at the end of this banner in the green strip, and you can reach out to that number. And I look forward to seeing you in the classes. Thank you so much.